Come on! Yes! Fuck yes! 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 Get this fucking shit off me. G'day, fuckheads! As is traditional on this channel, whenever we overtake another lore YouTuber, we give them a little shout out, a little spotlight before we completely forget that they exist. What can I say? I like to look out for the little guy. Out of everyone we've left in our dust, Arch is by far the spiciest due to his incredible ability to divide the community. Needless to say, he's one controversial man, but is he actually this demonic alt-right neo-Nazi that Sig Marxism make him out to be, or is he just a bit of an edgy dude who likes to push people's buttons and make offensive jokes? That's what we're going to get to the bottom of today. By the end of this video, you will know for sure what's up, and if you're a bit out of the loop about Arch, then you will also know why a lot of people are cross at him. Just quickly though, remember ages ago when I said I was working on this hectic intro animation as a part of the new upgraded production value? Well, it's finished. Here it is. Pretty sweet, eh? From now on, after the let's get into it, that'll play. Yeah, just thought I'd mention it. Today we'll deep dive into the man that is Arch, formerly known as Arch Warhammer before GW gave him a copyright strike. We will delve into his various cancellations, his controversies, and his very soul to determine if all the hate and criticism he receives is valid or not. If you are a huge Arch fan and you've already slapped that dislike button, I would encourage you to watch the video through, as towards the end of this video I'll be sharing a bit of information that no one else really seems to be aware of that might really illuminate the extent of the entire debacle. Wait a minute, Majorkill. You've said naughty, offensive things in the past. Isn't it a bit hypocritical for you to call out Arch? Not at all. I have a deep appreciation and understanding for edgy humor. I don't flinch when someone says a naughty word or have a knee-jerk reaction and just assume there's some kind of grand dragon of the KKK wannabe. As such, I reckon I'm actually the best person to analyze and explain Arch, as I know the difference between poorly delivered offensive humor and just straight up racism. Also, this isn't a call-out video. Well, at least it isn't yet. I might get too excited as we go along. Let's get into it. First things first, who is Arch? Arch is a Norwegian man who started covering the lore of Warhammer Fantasy over 6 years ago. He was among the first YouTubers to begin covering Warhammer lore on YouTube. Like, he started even earlier than One Mind Syndicate, and maybe even earlier than Luton. Although it's hard to tell with Luton because he has so much old FPS content that I can't be stuffed scrolling to try and find his first ever Warhammer lore video. Regardless, Arch was first to market for Warhammer Fantasy, and as such, enjoyed extremely rapid growth and a ton of views, despite being a very new channel and the overall quality of the content being a bit meh. After a little while, he also started doing 40k lore and found a ton of success there as well. Needless to say, he was a happy little camper and he owned a huge market share of the YouTube Warhammer lore content creation community. For lack of a better term, the big man was peaking. Now, when you are top dog, it's easy to let things get to your head. Hence, Arch, in his infinite wisdom, started inserting questionable politics as well as edgy comments into his videos. He also began antagonizing GW and CA in an attempt to drum up drama, which would in turn bring him attention and more views and shit, leading to this infamous moment.
I'll see you next week. Yeah, and Arch Warhammer is a dickhead. Goodbye.
For context, that's an old community manager for CA on his last ever live stream. He did this because Arch made a video having a go at CA's community manager Grace because she was pretty disgusted by the whole big titty waifu mod situation. So Wheels was basically telling Arch to get fucked because Arch took a shot at a work colleague and likely friend of his. I think that's pretty fair, to be honest. Grace was super upset about the waifu thing, but I don't want to spend 10 minutes analysing who was right or wrong, so I'll just leave a link to a post that deep dives into it if you want to know more. But at the end of the day, Wheels was backing up his mate, which is the right thing to do in most situations. Soon after this, GW officially blacklisted Arch Warhammer, informing all companies using a Warhammer license that they could not interact or work with Arch. They then took it a step further and they issued Arch with a copyright strike for using the word Warhammer in his name, hence why he's now just called Arch. My opinions on that are a bit mixed. On one hand, yeah, sure, if you blacklist someone, you probably don't want them using your brand in their name, but a straight up copyright strike is a bit harsh. As we know, YouTube is a bit spineless and will always side with big companies over creators when it comes to copyright, so this was definitely a bit of copyright abuse on GW's part. I've heard that it may have just been one dude from GW going rogue and doing it, but I can't find solid evidence to confirm or deny that, so Yeah, I'm just not going to confirm or deny that. While Arch did get a lot of attention from all this, he also turned a lot of the community against him, as more and more of his content was put under scrutiny. Old videos of his, which contained some spicy takes, were dug up. Arch, his content, and even his mention was banned from the 40k lore subreddit. He was no longer the lore master for the casual Warhammer fan. He became a bit tainted. Like, he went from easily clearing hundreds of thousands of views on any Warhammer topic, as well as doing a collab with fucking Markiplier, to now struggling to get even a quarter of those views on lore videos, despite there being an overall larger Warhammer audience on YouTube. To make matters even worse for old mate Arch, some screenshots of his less proud moments from his Discord were published online, and they went pretty viral. At least as viral as Warhammer related content can go. This was the nail in Arch's coffin for a lot of people. He went from this dude that they heard had the occasional hot take but made good lore videos to a confirmed racist. This also sparked a big debate. Was this Arch's actual opinions, or was it just a bunch of edgy jokes taken out of context? To get that answer, let's use a case study about myself. It might shock you, but I wasn't always this hyper-attractive, big dick, big brain Chad who could successfully navigate the line between edgy and funny humor. Blech. I too have incriminating screenshots from my Discord where I say some pretty uncool stuff, like objectively can be considered worse than Archer's screenshots. I don't exactly remember what it said because it's been like nearly 5 years, but yeah, was not good. Those screenshots of mine were sent to various YouTubers, uploaded to the Sigmarxism subreddit, and even featured by Arch himself on stream. Yet I was never cancelled. There was no big uproar, and I honestly think I'm the only person in the world that actually vaguely remembers it. Why is that? It's because my screenshots read like an edgy teenager trying to look cool and funny, because that's exactly what it was. I think I was 18 or some shit. Your first reaction to mine wouldn't have been, oh my god, it's Hitler reborn. You would just kind of cringe. Archer's screenshots, on the other hand, actually read like a racist. Obviously some of them were just satire, like the fascism utopia one, but none of the others are remotely funny. This is compounded by the fact that these screenshots are all really recent, only a year ago. So there is no, oh no, he's just young and immature excuse. Like, the dude is easily in his 30s, or maybe the wrong side of 20, it's hard to tell. At that age, you would assume he would understand how to deliver edgy humor without looking like a white supremacist. I'm not outright declaring that these weren't all just Arch's attempt at humor, but it leaves you with one or two options. Option 1, Arch is racist, or option 2, Arch has a very unfunny and mean-spirited sense of humor. I mean, there's only so much "it's just a joke bro, relax" can do to protect your reputation. However, I'm not going to crucify Arch just yet. After all, everyone has said or messaged stuff that they probably don't want the general populace to know about, joking or not. Arch and 18-year-old Majorkill were just dumb enough to post it on public discords. The racial controversies weren't Arch's only issue in 2020. Something that I found pretty cringy were his thumbnails for his Jedi Fallen Order playthrough. I personally subscribe to the notion that any topic can be funny. However, edgier topics require more wit to get a good punchline out of. Arch commissioning an artist to draw a picture of him sexually assaulting a woman isn't that funny. It's very odd and kinda gross. Another issue we had outside of the whole Nazi thingo was his Discord moderators. Those pesky moderators said some interesting things, ranging from some hot takes about Muslims and black people, all the way to some very, unique perceptions about child pornography. Once again, this could just be their attempt at being funny instead of just shit people, but I personally draw the line well before joking about children getting raped. It is important to note that just because Arch's moderators said these things doesn't mean Arch necessarily endorses them. A few of my moderators turned out to be neo-Nazis and they were promptly banned, I might add, but it doesn't reflect too good on Arch at all. There were also people complaining that Arch had podcasts with controversial characters such as Sargon and the Golden One, declaring him guilty by association, but I think that's pretty silly. Having conversations with people of opposing political views and values is very healthy, and the world would be a better place if more people did that. I'm not saying that Arch necessarily had opposing opinions to them, but it's ridiculous to get mad at someone for chatting to controversial figures. After all the chaos and cancellation of 2020, in 2021, Arch finally fell out of the spotlight, other than getting his channel hacked and deleted for a bit. All the controversies had more or less killed his channel's growth, as new fans of the setting are constantly warned to stay away from him. Large parts of his audience that used to tolerate the occasional political commentary because they really enjoyed his content finally switched off. His channel hasn't died though, it's just taken a hit and is nowhere near what it used to be, but he still maintains a loyal fan base that provide him with enough views and subscription pledges to maintain YouTube as his full-time job. His content these days mostly involves around lore videos, random niche video games, and a lot of bitching about GW. Like, a lot. For a time, it actually looked as if me and Arch finally agreed about GW for once. Their new copyright infringement policies and the way they implemented them remain to this day a huge fuck up by Games Workshop, and I did a few videos on the topic as well. The difference though is that Arch sees a headline or post and bang, video. He doesn't fact check himself, wait for the situation to unfold a bit more, or get in contact with the affected parties. He just makes clickbaity content about it and has been wrong multiple times. I was very conservative about my videos criticizing GW. I talked to numerous people to make sure I wasn't just spitting out sensationalist bullshit. Don't get me wrong, GW deserve to cop shit, but misinformation is never a good thing, even if it does fit your preferred narrative. I do want to really quickly talk about one more thing before we get into the spice of the video. I want to talk about his recent extreme hate boner for GW's leaked NDA. I had a look at it. I sent it to a lawyer mate of mine, and I read through various forum discussions, and the general consensus is that it's actually a very stock standard NDA. Arch probably just hasn't seen one in so long because no one wants to work with him, so he's forgotten what they're supposed to look like. And guess what? If you don't like a company's NDA, don't fucking sign it. Not hard. Somewhat recently, something mind-opening happened, something that really clears up this entire situation and actually condemns Arch pretty badly. This is the thing I mentioned in the intro. Around the end of April, Arch deleted nearly 50 million views worth of videos. I'm not sure how many videos that was exactly, but it's well into the hundreds. Before you said that this was probably due to the hacking situation, that occurred in January. This mass video deletion was April-May. Why would Arch delete like a third of his videos? Well, let's look at the videos he deleted. Diversity in 40k, just no. Interesting title there, mate. Deleted. Another video he deleted was the one where he complained about a black ultramarine on the cover of a Warhammer novel. Unfortunately, I can't quite quote him from that video because, you know, he fucking deleted it, but the idea that in the 500 worlds of Ultramar, there isn't any black people is fucking retarded. But Majorkill, Space Marines take upon the appearance of their Primarch. Shut the fuck up, Timmy! You rat! You fucking rat! Only a handful of Space Marine legions undergo this mutation, and only one, the Salamanders, will actually change skin color. Loremaster my fucking ass. His video about the Christchurch shooter. Oh, what a surprise he deleted it. Can't imagine why. It's pretty easy to see a pattern here, guys. I mean, I've deleted one video before, like 4 years ago, and I felt like it wasn't a good representation as me as a creator. But I can't imagine deleting a third of my videos. Did he delete them because he's a changed man and regrets them? Unlikely. Did he delete them due to some external pressure or cancellation? I don't think so. I don't recall a single post about Arch since he got hacked. Only Arch truly knows why he deleted them, but it's not hard to make an educated guess. In all honesty, I went into this video thinking Arch was just an unfunny, try-hard edgelord shit-stirrer who some people just labeled as a Nazi because that's an easy thing to do to people you don't agree with these days. But after deep diving into what he has done, it's clear that in the sacred words of Wheels, Arch Warhammer is indeed a dickhead. It's not necessarily for his political opinions though, it's because directing thousands of people against an already upset community manager is a piece of shit thing to do. It's because being a constant whiny uninformed bitch is a shit thing to do. It's because being a source of only negativity and pessimism within the Warhammer community is a shit thing to do. And it's because quietly deleting 50 million views worth of videos because you're too spineless to admit that you took it too far is a shit thing to do. Now I'm not telling you to stop watching Arch or unsubscribe from him. You're an adult, you can make your own decisions. And I'm also not asking Arch to make an apology video because I really couldn't give a fuck what he has to say. I'm just here to give you guys and gal the rundown on who and what Arch Warhammer is, and why people hate him, which I think I've done a pretty fucking good job of if I say so myself. If you are sitting here thinking, fuck, I really like his Warhammer lore videos, what do I do? Easy. Did you know that you can dislike the artist and like the art? Many artworks I admire were made by people I detest. There are various mods that I use for games that are made by douchebag modders, but I play them religiously. You can like Arch's content and still think he's a dickhead. My final note that I feel like I have to mention, because I know a few people are going to have a go at me about it, Yes, over 3 years ago, me and Arch had an hour-long chat. It was pretty mundane, and we didn't really gel that much, so we never really talked again. But as I said before, having conversations with people you don't necessarily agree with or even get along with is a healthy thing to do. If you avoid doing that, then you will eventually find yourself in an echo chamber, which is never a good thing. What's next for me? Well, I've got more Majorkill minis on the way, I've got a hectic animation similar to the Doomslayer vs Astartes in production, and another calendar on the horizon, which let's just say is significantly spicier than the previous one. Thank you everyone for continuing to support me and allow me to live out my dream. Onwards and upwards, baby. Onwards and upwards. Peace.